Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the 343iCommunity Community Forum Let's Play of XCom 2. My name is Redstone Rocket, and when I left you last time, we were just about to take on a guerrilla operation in New Brazil. Now with these ones you have a bit of a luxury. There's none of these which are particularly bad in terms of dark events. We've got Viper rounds here which are quite nasty, but we could deal with this. Vigilance, which is again is nasty, we could deal with it. And New India, where we have a faster alien facility counter, but that just is irrelevant to us as we've covered almost all the map with connections. So given the choice between these two, to be perfectly honest, while the detection radius one would probably be worse, this one gives us more supplies and is thus a slightly better one in terms of reward, so we're going to go to New Brazil. And we're also going to give some of our lesser used Spartans a run out again, as we are getting very, very heavily invested.
Shen aren't going to be happy if we don't put the Skulljack to good use. We should have one of our soldiers equip it before they deploy.
As we and I've forgotten my train of thought. Yeah, we have a lot of colonels and majors at this point, and we are starting to maybe leave these soldiers behind a little bit. So for this mission, we're going to put Drizzy in charge, and then we are going to just take out some of these lesser used soldiers a little bit. We're also going to take a risk and roll with 2 sharpshooters again. I'm generally not a fan of that, it has to be confessed, but there you go. Sometimes it works out. Let's hope it does on this occasion. So, first instance, we're going to pop Slick back into his heavy armour. And that way, if we really need someone to take a hit, well, we've got someone who's just purpose-made for it. As we saw last time, he's up to a whole 6 armour now, which would be excessive if it weren't for the fact that we're now up against enemies who can do 11 damage. And for our other suit, the war suit, or the exosuit, we're just going to put Meister on that, as I believe he has blast padding. I've equipped his abilities. Yeah. So with a bit of luck here, he'll at least be on 3 armour. He won't be getting the full benefit from what Slick would, as he doesn't have the additional chest plating, but that's not such a big deal here. And it also frees him up potentially to maybe take another item. If he has demolition, I'm not sure if he does yet. We may give him a double frost bomb. Yeah, we may go with a double frost bomb here. It's a little unorthodox, but it might be useful. We also have plenty of specialised ammunition distributed here, so we're going to start by putting the Talon rounds on Drizzy. Church will be getting the Tracer rounds, as we want our sniper to be hitting as often as possible. Venom rounds we may put on Yash. But then again, we may put the AP rounds on him just to be certain that we're doing as much damage as possible, as well, we're probably going to be using his pistol. Actually, let's check where he is in terms of his abilities. Yeah. He can put out hopefully as many as 3 shots a turn, so with that in mind, we will, if I can find us, give him the AP rounds. And then we'll toss the poison rounds out of Morrigan, which means we can now start worrying about the auxiliary equipment. Drizzy, not sure what I want him to have. It'll probably be the Skulljack, just thinking about it, as we do need someone to have that. For Church, we'll take battle scanners, as we don't know when they're going to be their most useful, and frankly it's better that we have someone who's not hugely mobile with them, as that way if we throw them we're not losing anything. Yash, we will... I'm not sure. I think we'll give him the mimic beacons, this way, if nothing else, he can still use lightning hands to get a shot out. And that frees up Jackdaw to go with the acid grenade, which is of course really, really nice. So, hopefully we're going to be able to Skulljack a Codex here. This is going to be a very, very dangerous mission if that's the case, so this should be a lot of fun. Let's get on with it.
soldier deployed.
In position for deployment.
The Resistance set up a data tap on the Advent network through an access point in this area. And they've been retrieving data critical to the aliens' latest operation. Unfortunately, Advent picked up on the signal and are moving to destroy the emplacement. We need to move in and eliminate any hostile forces threatening that device.
This is going to be Operation Demon Scepter in the Roach City slums district of Bogota. Bogota? I can't even pronounce it, it's written right there. And we're going to be protecting a device from encroaching alien forces. Now, these missions aren't timed in the conventional sense, as you're basically dealing with how quickly the enemy can whittle them down. So, with a bit of luck, the double sniper choice won't come back to bite us too hard.
Hostile forces are already moving to destroy the data tap installed nearby. We need to lock down the area and secure the device at all costs. Squad concealment active.
And that's actually quite a lot of open ground between us and there, but never mind. We'll start by just throwing Slick straight forward.
Copy that.
As we need to make progress quite swiftly here. We are hard up against the edge of the map, as you can see. We're right back in the corner. So that's potentially a little worrying.
That's affirmative.
On the bright side, we don't seem to be able to see anything in there, which is good.
I'll be right over.
Already there. Already there.
And by and large, we do want to try and get everyone onto the roof here.
Running.
For Drizzy, that means he's going to be standing right at the back, but never mind. And the device isn't under fire yet, which is really, really important. As you can see, it has quite a beefy health pool, but unfortunately, I'm not sure what those things are, enemies do a lot of damage at this point, so that could be whittled down as quickly as 4 or 5 turns. And as I said, there is an awful lot of very open ground between us and there. So that's something we're going to have to be very careful of going forward.
Heading out.
And also, while unlikely, it is always possible we're going to discover that we've got an enemy squad hiding, you know, right under here in this bit of blank space, which wouldn't be nice. So with that in mind, we're going to put... we'll probably start just by moving Haley over here. Make sure there's nothing right on this side. And then we're going to pop Slick right to the fore.
Got it covered.
As if we find out, I want to find that there's an enemy squad here, I want to find out with as many moves as possible remaining. But fortunately, we seem to be alright. And this is definitely looking like a bit of a slums district here. It's very, very lawless looking.
I'm all over it.
I can't remember what ammunition Yash has. Does he have the AP rounds? Let's have a look. Yes, he does. So potentially we could get 3 shots off against this turret here, which would all ignore armor. I mean, we could probably kill it without even needing to use anyone else's shredding abilities.
Moving out.
Which would obviously be very nice indeed.
Location confirmed.
Come on, boy, faster!
Go, go, go.
And I'm still just waiting for the objective to come under fire, but we seem to have gotten away with it so far. So, yeah, most likely here we can just knock this straight down with the ash without even needing to use anyone else. So let's do that. And I had actually intended to take a crack at that with the pistol rather than the sniper rifle, but it seems to have worked out well enough for us.
Okay. Commander, that codex provides the ideal opportunity to infiltrate the Advent network. We will need to move in with the Skulljack to initiate the process.
This may actually not have been the best decision I've ever made, truth told. As we don't have anyone... Oh no, we do have Probus, and we did bring Meister as well, right. That said, we could probably just use him to kill, insta-jib this Muton, which would be a good idea. I think that's it, let's just insta-kill this Muton.
Bring in the pain!
And we haven't actually done a great deal of damage to that there. Oh well. We could leave Slick in the open, that is just an option. Let's let's go for a launch plasma grenade here. As this way, hopefully, we'll be able to. Oh dear, we seem to have accidentally killed the Codex, but never mind. Far better to kill it and then need to wait a mission when we already have things to be working on. That said, this is a guaranteed kill. Right, that's fine. So I think we'll take a crack at this Muton with Jackdaw, as I'd like to start the process of ranking her up. And even if this doesn't kill, well, we can mop it with Church. Though thankfully, she's killed it just fine.
What's up?
We'll also move Kool-Aid up just a little. And then I think we'll probably... No, I'm undecided as whether we should put Church on Overwatch or start moving him up, as we do need to be making progress, but I'm hesitant to reveal another group. Let's just play it safe in Overwatch.
Moving.
And I am probably being more reckless than strictly sensible with Slick here. I am nervous about the fact that the transmitter hasn't come under attack yet.
Good copy. Moving on target. On the move. Double time.
And Church, I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with him, as it doesn't look like there's going to be any good spots at all to set up a sniper nest. So perhaps we will just leave him in Overwatch where he is. Certainly, I think there's only, what was it? 11 enemies on this mission, so now we're down to 8? And we are going to Overwatch with Slip rather than move him, actually. That would be too reckless. Just in case we do blunder into something.
Roger that.
You can see we're having to adjust our tactics quite a lot when we don't have Morrigan in to provide risk-free scouting. And obviously, risk-free scouting is very, very, very useful. Lets us plan much more effectively. We could use the we could start using
Good copy. Moving on target.
the battle scanners who I'm not sure who's holding those actually.
Position confirmed.
And it's Church, right? So we're gonna have to start moving him up, I think.
Scanning. On Overwatch. Affirmative. Covering now.
God's sake.
I'm on it. Quiet. Do you hear something? Adjusting sights. Barely registered. Let it
We are having just... I'm not sure what it is. We had this in the last part as well. For some reason,
reinforcements inbound.
we just do not seem to be able to hit anything in Overwatch at the moment. And again, if you remember toward the start of the series, I was always somewhat hesitant, I think, to commit to an Overwatch style of play. You saw that I was disappointed when the other fellow asked me to use the regular tree for Kiko. And you're starting to see why here. Overwatch isn't necessarily hugely reliable. It's a nice little bonus when it works, but I tend not to think it can form sort of the core of a play style. However, Drizzy does have flares, so let's start by... Oh, we can even guarantee a hit on this. Right, that's excellent. And of course, Drizzy's happy to just crit everything. That's fantastic. Let's actually just reload him here. Now, who has the acid bomb? It's Jackdaw, right. Now, to be honest, I had actually wanted to pop her... I had wanted her to move here, flank this thing, and just kill it.
Moving out.
But we made that with Slick. Is I really want to dump the acid bomb just here. That said, is there strictly speaking any harm at this point in just winging off a few shots with our remaining squad members? I don't think there are. Let's try it with Church, you never know.
Taken care of.
Yeah. So what we'll do here is we'll go for a quick reload. And then we're just going to throw the acid grenade here. And that way, when these guys drop in, there'll be a nice wet welcome waiting for them. Or at least there would have been if we'd actually hit all the tiles I'd aimed at, but never mind. We'll quickly reload Yasha's sniper rifle.
Oh yeah.
We'll do the same for Maestro.
It's killing.
And then move everyone to Overwatch.
Scanning.
And that way we'll be ready to take this group out when it lands. Or at least put the hurt on them. And I think they've all landed in the acid with a bit of luck.
Advent troop spotted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, a fairly typical round of Overwatch in XCom. In any case, we are approaching the end of our recording time here. So we'll put a short break in the video. Please don't go anywhere, and I will see you in just a moment. Hello and welcome back. So we've got a bit of a problem here. These guys are quite badly spread out, unfortunately. That said,
Understood. Understood.
This captain shouldn't be too hard to take out, as Slick's guaranteed crit should be more than enough to kill this, assuming he hits, of course. Oh, good.
Not good.
And we had a flare I could have used there, but never mind. Sometimes in XCom, you have one of those days. This is going to be one of those days. Right. We've already used one of our heavy weapons, so
Head down.
feel hesitant about using this, but you do what you've got to do. And we have at least taken these two out of cover now, which is nice. Although we're still going to have to worry about this shield barrier here. Not that Drizzy cares about that sort of thing.
Kill confirmed.
And here we could stagger this shield bearer. This won't do quite as much damage, but actually, I'm not sure if we want to do that or not. Let's start with a pistol shot against this mech and then we'll work from there. We haven't quite killed that, but never mind. We'll follow it with a lightning hands attack.
Taken care of.
And then we will use the mimic beacon if we need to, although obviously we'd rather it didn't get to that. Right.
Okay.
And let's just point blank this guy with the pistol. Obviously he is very heavily armoured, which isn't great.
They hit the plate.
But we may be able to do just enough damage to whittle it down. Do we have a stock on... Oh, we have a superior stock, so we can guarantee 6 damage on this. Oh, this is just dead now, I think. Actually, it's not guaranteed. Yeah.
I swear I did.
Do we have a stock on the DMR? No, we don't. Although we have a decent chance to hit it with this. Right. So a staggering shot. That's functionally a 49% chance to kill it. This is a 68% chance to kill it. So we'll take a DMR shot here. Yeah.
Enemies down.
Bit scrappy, but not a big deal.
Come get some.
And nothing else, we at least can still get an overwatch shot out. Yeah. This area was definitely looking a bit like a slums district when we arrived, and our presence hasn't done anything to improve it, put it that way. So let's start by getting Drizzy up to the roof here.
Affirmative. Moving out.
And once we've made certain of what's going on around the battlefield, we will consider our next moves. And for this turn, I think those will probably just be reloads.
Confirmed. Heading there now.
Yeah. Actually, no, we'll move church first. Just make sure there's nothing hiding over here.
Roger that.
He doesn't quite have enough distance to get the roof there. I probably should have considered that first, but we'll just throw this up here, see what we're dealing with in this building. I'm not sure what that is on the roof. Might be a Viper?
I'm ready. Covering now. Got it covered. Ready to rock. Back in.
And we know that there is something on the roof. So let's start by just quickly poking forward with Jackdaw here. And she can't see it. So it's probably just right back there. So with that in mind, we're going to take a little bit of risk and run her forward here.
Move your ass a little
I don't
faster?
expect this to reveal it. And it hasn't, and that's great. We will leave Yash where he is. Purely because
No need to ask twice.
we want that Mimic Beacon. If we need it.
Copy that.
And I think we'll pop Maestro over here.
10-4. Objective sighted. Menace 1-5, we've got a line on the target. Move to protect that gear at all costs.
Well, I'm not sure what we'll do actually. I think we'll just put Drizzy here.
Good to go.
And we'll put Yash here as well, as we know this is a safe tile. Right. So I think we'll send Maestro up first. And unfortunately he's going to have to be in the open, which, again, not ideal, but we can work around that.
Advent forces on the ground.
And depending on how they scatter, we may even be able to just frostbomb them here. Sadly, I don't think we're going to be able to frostbomb them, but you never know. And we're just short of lightning hands there, which is a shame. Yeah. Putting Yash there actually probably wasn't the smartest move in the world now that I think about it. Simply because, I mean, this Drizzy can't get up to take an effective shot. That said, do we really need to go up to take a shot when we could just bring them down? I don't think so. Now this has potential to backfire. Blowing out this wall, if there is anything in there, then it is going to be revealed. It may also slightly set Haley on fire, but we're going to think happy thoughts and pray that's not the case as we fire the blaster bomb. And that horrible dying sound was probably a civilian, so that's not so bad. Jesus, right. This week's XCom featuring 100% more war crimes.
Let's keep going.
Because that was necessary at this point. Oh, good grief.
Yeah, girl power. What's up?
Okay. And if you move up to here,
Rolling.
we should have a fairly nice shot. Yeah. And unless we're extremely unlucky, this will kill it.
Target neutralized.
Actually, who was killed there? Because there was definitely the sound of someone dying. But I can't see anyone. Perhaps that was just the sound of the Advent Trooper falling to his death, although it sounded feminine. I suppose you can't really tell what gender they are under the helmet, can you?
Confirmed.
And we haven't even used Church yet, which is nice, so we'll just pop him on Overwatch. And we'll
Moving
move Slick,
Overwatch.
Maestro, and Kool-Aid to Overwatch as well.
Moving to designated coordinates.
Church, I think we'll pop here.
Solid copy.
Simply because I expect whatever's coming will come from the far side of the building. And so having an army ready to fight back against it would probably be quite beneficial. Rather than having him in a position where he needs to move to still be useful.
Moving on target location. Moving out. Moving to Overwatch. Overwatch. Overwatch! Overwatch!
And I do hope this isn't like the previous mission where the enemy is just going to refuse to move for turn on turn. So let's start by bringing Maestro down to here.
On the move!
As even if he reveals something, he can frost bomb it, which is obviously quite useful. And then perhaps we could even bring Haley over here as well. We'll just make sure she's in high cover there.
Why am I not surprised?
And we've got a stun lancer on the roof. Right, that's not good. On the other hand, at least there's two in cover, in heavy cover relative to them, and we can freeze bomb these guys.
Grenade out!
So they won't be technically significant for this turn, which means we can focus everything on dealing with that lancer. And I may regret this, but what I'm going to try and do here
Confirmed.
is go for the flanking attack with Slick. This is a 5 out of 6 chance to kill. Well, not quite, but it's a good chance to kill. And it has.
It's down. Could be something on this one.
More importantly, from here, we can put some flanking AP fire onto that shield bearer. Just in case you're worried there are any windows left in the world there. I'm increasingly convinced that XCom... I should have used lightning hands first, right. But I'm increasingly convinced that XCom, after the war's over, is going to set up shop, not rebuilding the world, but as a glazing firm. Let's go for the shield bearer.
Target neutralized.
And you know what? I kind of fancy a dead eye shot here. Just because we can get away with this. It's not a high risk situation.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Always the potential for that to happen during Deadeye, but not the end of the world. And here we'll go for some, we'll just try and weaken it off a bit with Yash. We'll probably save Lightning Hands for next turn, because I think I want Haley to get this kill.
Adjusting sights.
That's another one down.
Status confirmed. All hostiles are down and the area is secure. Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
And the strange thing is, I don't actually remember killing all that many enemies. Although I suppose with the two on the roof. At any rate, that's gone really, really well. Quite pleased with that. We've been very lucky that for some reason the enemy haven't actually attacked the device. You do see that occasionally happen when enemies spawn on the roof of the building with the device is housed in. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the eye there, but it's a nice little mercy when it does happen. And it's also nice as well to bring out some of our lesser used Spartans and actually give them a chance to shine. Well, I think it sort of proves that in XCom, obviously ranking up your soldiers is very important, but good equipment and good tactics are just as good as experience. Rather than you being completely beholden to the raw rank of the soldiers.
Let's hope they all go that smooth, Commander. Great work.
I mean, promotions for both Kool-Aid and Jackdaw here. So, obviously Drizzy claims to be highly irregular, so he'll be taking stick and move. If you shoot, you gain plus vulnerability until your next move. If you move, you gain plus 2 damage with your primary weapon and plus 2 defense through your next attack, which is great. So basically, move and shoot. If you don't want to shoot twice. Jackdaw will be giving her flare. More flares are never a bad thing. Shake it off. Oh, actually, I think, just thinking about that, I think I've chosen a bit impulsively. I believe Jackdaw actually wanted to be regular, so we will correct that. I apologise, that's a mistake on my behalf. And we've required an advanced agility, which will give plus 20 dodge, which is really, really nice. As basically, it's a 20% chance to halve damage from an incoming attack. It's not really, really useful, but it's a nice little bonus if we don't have anything better for someone.
You and your crew have dealt another serious blow to the aliens' efforts today, Commander. Impressive work.
Well, perhaps we could put it on Slick. That might actually be a thought. Is he? Yeah, he doesn't have a combat sim, so we may as well pop that on since he's our tank. We'll make a quick trip to the Advanced Warfare Center here, if I can find it. And we'll just very quickly, yeah, we'll retrain Haley. So she should be done in a few days. 5 days, that's not so bad. And a scientist might actually be a nice little bonus here. Well, that's, I think we've broken the back of the bulk of the research. I think we'll continue making contact.
United States.
Just for now.
Coming through clear.
And we're approaching the end of our recording time here. So, before we do anything else, we'll put a short break in the video. So, don't go anywhere, and I will see you in just a moment. Hello and welcome back. So, we've got a few options here. Alien alloys might be nice, truth told. Scientists probably not so useful, but either of these would be valid options. Just for the moment, I think we will go with the alien alloys.
Avenger plotting.
And that should hopefully tide us over just until Haley's retrained.
I am sure you will find the results to be as intriguing as I do, Commander. It certainly is impressive looking, if nothing else. Although I am still not entirely sure what the aliens hope to achieve. Such a grand design.
So this is the Archon autopsy, codename Balsaraf. Brief eyewitness accounts, including one from our own Central Officer Bradford, indicate that the aliens once fielded a similar biomechanicatronic organism during the earliest days of the invasion. Those reports, however, describe a much more gruesome and rudimentary creature versus the subject we encounter in the present day. The modern specimen could almost be described as elegant in appearance, an authoritative, intimidating figure with the advanced weaponry to match, signed Tyen. And from this we've got the fusion blade, and we tend not to use those very much, but you never know when they're going to come in handy. And we've also got instant crystal autopsy, so we'll probably do that now.
Presumably, the name chrysalid derives from assumptions made previously about the creature's unusual means of reproduction. Although rumors have long prevailed about the existence of zombies created as a byproduct of the chrysalid gestation, recent reports seem to indicate a new, equally disturbing means of propagating their species. Even my own intellectual curiosity is not enough to overcome my doubts as to whether or not it was really a wise decision for our troops to bring this particular specimen on board the ship.
So this is the crystal autopsy, codename Chrysalis, very creatively named. Completed August 7th, 2035. An inherently terrifying and unpleasant species to encounter by surprise, I can only admire our troops for their courage in dealing with the species known as the chrysalid, mirroring the general form of a coron arthropod, immediately noticeable as the sleek armoured exoskeleton protecting its segmented body. Of particular concern for our troops are the honed points of the chrysalid's fangs and legs, capable of inflicting critical injuries on their own. They also allow for the creature's gruesome means of rapid reproduction in the field. Although Central Officer Bradford insists that he witnessed a different, equally invasive means of chrysalid gestation during the earliest days of the war, there is no evidence that such attacks still occur today. Unfortunately, from what he's described, I would say the aliens have actually evolved the process to a more efficient and deadly solution. The chrysalids we see today inject a venom that immediately begins softening the structure of the victim's internal organs, preparing the subject to serve as both the material for a gestation cocoon and as a ready supply of nutrients for the chrysalid young. Should the victim fail to receive medical support and expire, the cocoon will form shortly thereafter. Assuming the cocoon is not destroyed during the initial gestation period, we can expect up to 3 chrysalid young to emerge after an impressively short period of growth. Recent reports in the field indicate some form of burrowing behaviour, perhaps another evolution of past techniques, in this case likely for defensive purposes. Our troops would be well advised to watch where they step in the future. Signed, Dark Ligon. So I'll say here, I sincerely hope that the crystal reproduction thing is something we absolutely never see in this series. It is horrifying. And it is of course an instant kill with no chance to revive, which is just awful. So for the moment we're just going to start working the alien cache decryption, grab some more intel.
Research your priority, Commander. I'll notify you as soon as the report is available.
As we are running a little low, I think we're down to about 30-40 now. Yeah. We've also got the Wraith shit here. And after that we will finish upgrading the final war suit. Not sure quite why that's zoomed in has there, but never mind. Or we need to unequip it. Right. And I believe it was Maestro who'd taken the exosuit there.
Interesting choice. I'll send word as soon as we're finished, Commander.
strategic resource located.
So, an isolated haven here. Approaching the remains of a resistance haven, there are no immediate signs of life. A strange alien beacon is embedded in the road nearby, but it seemed to be inactive. Shen requested we bring the device on board for a more thorough inspection. So here, we're going to gain a few points of intel, I think.
Setting course for
Just
the
enough time
west
for Haley to
corridor.
finish her retraining. And then, once the alien data cache has been decrypted, we may start work on the next objective.
These findings will likely prove crucial to our ongoing efforts, Commander. Hello, Commander.
The Elders have always been elusive. Aside from the occasional monument, I don't imagine most of the people in the city centers have ever actually seen one in person. Knowing now that the Elders are apparently suffering at the hands of some terminal affliction explains their absence from the public eye. More importantly, what sort of ailment could possibly be beyond their vast curative abilities?
So we're going to install the silent gate here,
Shadow chamber upgraded.
which should allow us to perform the next Shadow Chamber project. So once we've got this out of the way, all we need to do is perform a skulljack on a codex, and we should be just about ready to start taking on the final set of missions. So I'd expect that to be occurring probably about September. So just under a month from now. And there we are. Haley's retrained, so we'll add Opportunist to shake it off there. Just having the extra willpower is always nice. Actually, we seem to have a spare weapon upgrade there. A laser sight. Actually, I suppose we might as well pop that on. It's always good to have just slightly improved chances of crits when overwatching. Right. And at this point we could get the scientist, but we're sort of out of things to research. So we'll have a look at this alien facility. There's only 9 enemies here, but we would firstly we'd get a sector pod out of it, which would be nice. But perhaps more importantly, we could use this as a hopefully fairly easy way of getting a codex. As I think once you have the Skulljack Codex objective completed and you take a Skulljack on a mission, they're guaranteed spawns. So perhaps that's what we'll do for the next mission, Operation Godslap. So until then, I hope you've enjoyed this part. My name has been Red Star Rocket. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, take care and good night.